Dear Doctor, thank you for the response for our previous video. We got a lot of queries about what exactly needs to be avoided or be careful about when it comes to buying domain names. Therefore, we are coming to you with a brand new series called Top 5. So here are the top 5 mistakes you should avoid as a doctor or a healthcare service provider when buying a domain name. Number 1, not registering it or paying for it with your credit card. Why that's important? Because domains renew every year. If it fails to renew, then it gets lapsed and someone else can buy it away from you. Google knows about this, it happened to them as well. With a credit card, you don't have to worry about the limit that is required for the payment and it will get auto-debited. You need to ensure your credit card is complying with the RBI guidelines for a recurring payment. Please use an Indian credit card as far as possible for such payments. Number 2. Paying in dollars instead of rupees. Many times when you look at a particular website from where you are buying domain names, they show you the payment in rupees. But when you are billed, you don't realize until you see your credit card or debit card statement that they actually charged you in dollars, which then ends up costing much more because then there is a foreign currency conversion charge. You lose money while making the forex exchange. Plus, usually there is a service charge for this conversion service and there is a service charge plus GST for the service. So the domain ends up costing you a lot more than what you originally imagined it to be. And of course, then you're not really tax compliant. If you buy from a service provider that is based in India, has certain tax compliances with the Indian government, then you can also claim the tax for the same as per the GST norms. So ensure that you're buying from a provider that is based in India. Number 3, allowing cybersquatting. Cybersquatting is when someone else takes charge of your domain and then kind of holds you to ransom to buy back the same domain, often in lakhs of rupees for a 1,000-1,500 rupee domain. This happens when your domain is already popular and you've missed renewing it and the deadline has lapsed and someone else had open access to claim it for themselves and pay for it. So you always, of course, can use a credit card, but it would be useful to set a reminder to yourself. Indian agencies now do send SMS and call reminders when your domains are about to expire. A very useful feature. Number 4, buying too many years of the domain pack by getting tempted looking at the price. Many times certain sites post a very lucrative price, but there's an extreme fine print down there that says that particular price is applicable for the first year only. And in fact, in the subsequent years, the price does shoot up significantly. You may not realize that while you're paying, but do read the fine print. And often we feel that it's better to just renew it and keep it for 5 years or 10 years because that option is available. But what happens is by the end of the 5th year or the 10th year, that particular card that you have used, the credit card that you're linked, would have expired and therefore the payment does not get auto-renewed and you ultimately end up losing your domain. This happened to a very popular and a huge company. Read the caption to know which company suffered a domain lapse after 10 years of registering their domain. Number 5, allowing too much access to your domain name for your web developer. Your web developer, whether it's a person or a company, does need access to your domain name, but that's usually a one-time activity to set up a DNS, that is a link to the server and your domain name and your mail server at best. They do not need a constant access to the domain name as they would need usually with the server. You don't need to give a blanket access including password to your web developer. Most sites allow an option where you can add their ID as a manager and not give away your entire access. Now here's one extra tip. There is a very important clause that has come in which allows you to set privacy settings for your domain name. Which means if I go to a particular site like ICANN or Whois and search for your domain name, I should not be able to see who owns that domain name, what is their registered address, what is their email ID, what is their phone number, because this obviously should not be open information. So do ensure you switch on the privacy settings and auto lock settings for your domain once you're registered with your service provider. Some service providers charge an extra fee for privacy settings. Check that before you register with such a particular provider.